live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the National News Broadcast. We're coming to you live from Rupavahini's News Studios. I'm Dilanjali Ananda.
And I'm Sonal Parnavithana. Let's take a look at your top stories for tonight.
The first agreement of completing the foreign debt restructuring was signed with Japan. The President instructs the officials to fruitfully utilize the funds allocated from the budget for the irrigation network. Women will also have the opportunity to become SLTB and locomotive drivers. A list of parliamentarians who have obtained houses from the Viyapura housing scheme avoiding the normal procedure revealed. Police have increased the prize money for the informants about firearms and hand grenades. South Korean judiciary cancelled the warrant against the impeached president. Sri Lanka Masters qualified for the semi-finals of the International Masters Cricket Tournament.
Sri Lanka has signed the bilateral agreement with the Japan International Cooperation Agency along with the exchange of notes between the governments of Sri Lanka and Japan in relation to the external debt restructuring process.
It took place today at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Affairs. The exchange of notes was signed by Secretary of the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development Mahinda Siriwardana and Ambassador of Japan to Sri Lanka Akio Izomata. Later further bilateral amendment agreements were signed by Secretary of the Ministry of Finance and Chief Representative Tetsuya Yamada on behalf of JICA. The objective of these agreements is to further strengthen the long-term bilateral relations between the two countries.
It is with great appreciation that I stand before you today to mark this significant milestone, the signing of the exchange of notes with the Embassy of Japan and the amendment agreement with JICA, which is the first restructuring agreement signed with a member country of the Official Creditor Committee, OCC. This agreement is a testament to the enduring partnership between Sri Lanka and Japan, a relationship built on mutual trust, support and shared development goals. I recall the exceptional leadership role played by the government of Japan through spearheading Sri Lanka's debt restructuring process by co-chairing the OCC alongside France and India. Their leadership, commitment and constructive engagement have been instrumental in helping Sri Lanka navigate the challenges of economic recovery. It is this spirit of cooperation that has enabled us to make meaningful progress towards restoring debt stability of Sri Lanka. At the same time, I need to acknowledge with deep gratitude the government of Japan's decision to resume the disbursements soon after the signing of the OCC Memorandum of Understanding on 26 June 2024. This timely decision reflects Japan's confidence in Sri Lanka's economic reform efforts and reinforces our ability to continue implementing essential development projects that benefit our people. Japan has long been a steadfast development partner, one that has always stood by Sri Lanka in times of need. Through concessional loans, grants and technical assistance, as well as through the infusion of advanced technology, Japan has contributed significantly to the socio-economic development of our nation.
As you witness, notes were just signed and exchanged between the government of Japan and the government of Sri Lanka to reschedule a part of the debts of the Sri Lankan government and Airport and Aviation Services Limited owed to JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency. The signed agreement renews the repayment terms of the outstanding loans for Japanese ODA projects. Japan welcomes the official completion of the debt restructuring between the two countries by the agreement signed today. I appreciate the tremendous efforts made by the Sri Lankan side to come to this stage together. This agreement is the first bilateral agreement between a member country of the Official Creditor Committee, OCC, and Sri Lanka after the signing of the MOU in July 2024 for debt restructuring between OCC member countries and Sri Lanka. Following the signing of the MOU July last year, Japan resumed the disbursement and other operations of the ongoing yen loan projects, such as the BIA terminal expansion project. Today's agreement is timely and crucial in supporting the recovery and the revitalization of Sri Lanka's economy. The government of Japan hopes Sri Lanka will complete all the debt restructuring as soon as possible and steadily move forward on the path to further development.
I would also like to commend the government of Sri Lanka for its excellent economic management that led to stabilization of the economy in such a short period of time. And my heartfelt highest respect goes to all the people of Sri Lanka for its tremendous patience, perseverance, solidarity, and resilience to go through and recover from the hardest time of the history of Sri Lanka, at least in an economic sense. The amendment agreement that we just signed today officially concludes the debt restructuring process between Sri Lanka and Japan. It will allow us to embrace more and more opportunities to cooperate together towards full recovery and further accelerated growth of the economy of Sri Lanka. However, in this connection, let me assure you that JICA will continue to work together with Sri Lanka to support its reform efforts in such areas as governance, including, of course, anti-corruption, public finance management, electricity sector reform, and others.
The government has not taken a policy decision yet regarding the Colombo Light Rail Transit project, which was to be implemented with the support of Japan. Director General of the Department of External Resources, the Ministry of Finance, RMSPS Bandara said. He made the remark while responding to a question raised by a journalist during a press briefing held on the signing of the debt restructuring agreement with Japan, which took place at the Finance Ministry today. RMSPS Bandara further said that fresh discussions will be required to be held with the government of Japan about the LRT project. The project, which was being planned under the Yahapalana government, was later cancelled by former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa without any discussion with Japan or its main funding agency, Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, in 2021.
President Anura Kumara Dissanayake yesterday at a discussion held at the President's office pointed out to the officials on the requirement of engaging grants earmarked for the development of the irrigation system during the next 8 months in a complete and fruitful manner. The meeting was called in order to discuss on the use of grants allocated for the irrigation industry by this year's budget and future steps to be taken in order to develop the irrigation system. The President also mentioned that a large amount of money is allocated from the 2025 budget in order to provide a sustainable solution to the long-standing problem of water of the farming community. Attention was also paid during the discussion to use this grant for the concerned project fruitfully in order to reach the economic development target of 3 to 4% easily in this country. It has also been instructed to study these projects closely and use grants accordingly. Minister of Agriculture, Livestock, Lands and Irrigation K.D. Lal Kantha, Deputy Minister Cecil Ranasinghe, along with several other officials of the ministry attended the meeting. President Anura Kumara Dissanayake today participated in a discussion with the officials of the Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation at the President's office. He pointed out that the corporation has to be converted to an institution which provides a broad contribution to the national economy of this country by paying attention to investments fruitfully and efficiently. The present operations of the institute was also discussed. The President emphasized that the corporation has to be maintained as a profit-making state institution through proper management, that in case it runs at a loss, its direct impact will be on the people who have invested in it. The meeting between President Anura Kumara Dissanayake and members of Clean Sri Lanka task force was held at the President's office today. This task force has been entrusted with the duty of operating, implementation and planning of Clean Sri Lanka in order to raise the society to an advanced stage through social, environmental and ethical resonance. The chairman of Clean Sri Lanka Task Force and President's Secretary Dr. Dhammika Sanatkumar Nayaka, chiefs of 3 armed forces and other officials were present on this occasion.
Minister Bimal Ratnayaka says that steps will be taken to recruit women for the post of drivers in the Railway and Sri Lanka Transport Board in the future. He made this observation participating in the Community State Budget debate in Parliament today.
Minister of Transport, Highways, Ports and Civil Aviation Bimal Ratnayaka says that Sri Lanka's railway service will be made attractive to the public and also efficient and timely within the next 1 or 2 years. Addressing concerns related to the repeated delays in train services during today's parliamentary session, the minister stated that when foreigners think of Sri Lanka, one of the first images that comes to mind is its iconic train journeys. He said that Sri Lanka's railway service has now become very sexy. Everyone loves that. Even though it is sexy, it is not healthy. It always gets delayed. Now, the officials in Sri Lanka Railways have managed to bring down the frequency of train delays and cancellations, but it is yet to reach a good level, the minister said. Prime Minister Harini Amarasuriya commended the recent steps taken by the Railway Department to upgrade sanitary facilities at the Fort Railway Station. She said the move will benefit female passengers immensely. The government has made a policy decision to recruit women for various positions in Sri Lanka Railways and the Sri Lanka Transport Board, including railway guards and train drivers, Minister Bimal Ratnayaka said. Minister Ratnayaka emphasized that the government expects to see highly efficient female railway guards, train drivers and bus drivers by the next year. He stated that the ministry made this policy decision in recognition of International Women's Day, which falls tomorrow. Furthermore, the Transport Minister expressed the government's aspiration to entrust the country's school bus service to women. Parliamentarian Rauf Hakim requests the Transport Minister to look into the issue of lack of facilities at the jetty and public terminal at the Kankasanture harbour. Opposition parliamentarian Jagat Vidhana of Samagi Jana Balavege offered his support to uplift the SLTB bus service using his expertise in the field of public transportation. Minister Bimal Ratnayaka commended the action of the opposition MP Jagat Vidhana and said that the government will actively involve with him to use his knowledge and expertise in the public transportation. The minister further said that around 400 unprotected railway crossings have been identified across Sri Lanka and plans are in place to make all of them safe by the end of this year. Minister Ratnayaka emphasized that it is the government's responsibility to ensure the safety of these crossings. He highlighted the urgency of the matter, stating that while building efficient transportation systems take time, ensuring the safety of the public should not be delayed.
Deputy Minister of Housing T.B. Sarath says that some parliamentarians who obtained compensation for their damaged houses during the Irregular period have also taken houses from the government's Vyatpura housing complex, avoiding the normal selling procedure. He presented the relevant list of names to the Parliament today. Deputy Minister T.B. Sarath said that a number of houses in the Manning Town housing scheme have been given to political supporters free of charge. There is a house under the name of Mahinda Rajapaksa as well. Paying only one installment after the houses set on fire, the Speaker has signed a letter requesting to grant houses for 76 parliamentarians. At that time, these parliamentarians had said they were unable to pay the total cost of the houses. Then from the B block of the housing scheme, which has 101 housing units, 76 units have been reserved. They have only paid the cost which was at the construction of the scheme. At that time, suppose the cost is 10 million rupees. After construction, the cost increases up to 20 million rupees. Then adding the two costs and then dividing it into two, from that amount 25% portion should be paid within 1 year. The rest will be paid in 15 years. In this manner, 26 parliamentarians have obtained houses. Minister Bimal Ratnayaka questions whether there are parliamentarians who have also claimed compensations for the damaged houses. Deputy Minister T.B. Sarath said that they have also taken compensations and insurance premiums as well. After all, the government's houses have also been grabbed at lower prices. When considering these facts, one feels that they have deliberately set their houses on fire. A house of the parliamentarian, the only damaged is a window. An MP has also taken compensation for the entire house.
Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau says that 500,000 foreign tourists have arrived in the country from January to the 5th of March. Addressing a press briefing, Managing Director of the Bureau, Sampath Nisanka, revealed these facts to the media today. Managing Director of the Tourism Promotion Bureau, Sampath Nisanka, said that during the period of 1st of January and 5th of March, 530,746 tourists have arrived in the country. Majority of foreigners are especially from the countries like India, Russia and Great Britain. Deputy Minister of Tourism Ruwan Chomindaranasinghe said that the government's target of this year is to attract 3 million foreign tourists. The promotional programs in this connection are being implemented both locally and internationally. A special program will be implemented even within this month.
The 44th National Youth Awards Festival was held at the Temple Trees yesterday. The aim of this annual event is to create talented and skilled artists to enhance the Sri Lankan field of arts. This has been jointly organised by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, National Youth Services Council and Sri Lanka Social Youth Federation. Awards were offered for 91 categories including drama, painting, pottery, essay and announcing. 160 skilled youth were offered with youth awards. Winners of 4 long singular staged plays, 20 short dramas in Tamil medium, 2 long stage plays and 6 short plays were also awarded at this festival. It is significant that 5 youth of slow learners and differently abled youth were also awarded at this occasion. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, Minister Sunil Kumara Gamage, Deputy Minister Eranga Gunasekara, several public representatives, Chairman of the NYSC Supun Vijayaratna and a number of veteran artists were present at this occasion. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that under the present situation it is difficult to survive only by engaging in the artistic field. This situation must be changed. The government expects to enhance the living standards of artists in order to create a positive society. The Prime Minister invites all the artists to join hands with the government to achieve this target. Minister Sunil Kumara Gamage said that the government has been able to start a transformation in the society at present. Therefore, emerging artists will have the responsibility of talking and writing about the newly expected society. Now, several ceremonies have been organized tomorrow on the occasion of the International Women's Day.
The theme of this year's Women's Day has been Sustainable Tomorrow to be Built, a Strong Woman Will Be the Path. The national television, joining hands with the Sri Lankan women this time too, will be participating in a special women's workshop on the 8th of this month organised by Women's Lions Club of Kurunegala. This has been organised at the Kurunegala Town Hall from 8:30 am to 3 pm. A number of veterans representing several areas will be participating in the workshop. This includes medical discussions, beauty culture, cookery, guidance on self-employments, bridal dressing and number of other features. Everyone can participate in the workshop free of charge. Accordingly, the national television requests everyone to participate in this workshop.
The European Union's Global Gateway supports Sri Lanka to increase investment opportunities in agri-food and alternatives to single-use plastics. The EU, in collaboration with the German Federal Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development and the Government of Sri Lanka, to launch the 3-year circular economy in the food sector program aimed at tackling food losses and reducing food and single-use plastic waste. With the goal of supporting government policies and efforts, Circular will identify, promote and scale up investment opportunities and find innovative socio-economic and technological solutions that promote circular economy principles. The EU Ambassador Cameron Moreno says that €15 million grant contribution for Circular shows the European Union's commitment to support the government of Sri Lanka and partners in creating a safe environment for businesses to thrive. Sri Lanka faces significant food loss from production to wholesale and high levels of food and single-use plastic waste throughout the supply chain. The tusk of a wild elephant has been damaged in an accident which occurred in the Habarana-Maradakanavala main road this morning. The accident took place when an oncoming lorry from Maradakanavala collided with the elephant. The tusker had collided with a lorry at Galpitagala area of Habarana Maradakanavala road around 6 in the morning today. The elephant had reached the road with another jumbo and damaged one of its tusks when it struck with a lorry which arrived from Habarana. According to reports, the right tusk has been broken. It has been found fallen on the road. The tusker has not been located so far, and the officials of the Wildlife Department have started an operation in search of it. It has not been confirmed as to whether which elephant had faced this accident, since several elephants are frequenting this area, but according to the nature of the tusk, it is suspected that it could be the tusker of the elephant called Sumedha.
The Acting Director General of the Wildlife Conservation Department, Ranjan Marasinghe, says that a solution can be provided through a scientific methodology conducting a census of the wild elephant who affect agriculture. He added that this can be helpful in providing solutions district basis also. The Acting Director General of the Wildlife Conservation Department, Ranjan Marasinghe, said that there has been scientific experiments regarding this area, but there is a lack of information in arriving at scientific decisions. This survey has been important in order to fill the shortcomings in the information in this area to take decisions scientifically. He added that an island-wide survey is required in order to fill up gaps in experiments in this field. Since problems concerning each district and province can be found in such a survey, it will also assist in finding in which stage the problem is, so that the problems can be resolved through a scientific approach by conducting a deep study based on those information.
Minister Dr. Nalin Vijayatissa recently instructed officials to formulate future plans and methodologies necessary to train more than 1,000 health professionals per year from the Colombo National Health Institute. He made these observations while participating in the inauguration of the two-story building in the premises. The ground floor of this building complex, constructed with funds of about 28 million rupees by the project to strengthen primary health in order to fit into pharmaceutical store. The first floor, which has been designed as a lecture hall, can accommodate 200 persons with all its facilities. The minister pointed out on this occasion that his intention is to provide a qualitative and efficient service by training health professionals with maximum capacity in the future to the Colombo National Health Institute, which was established in the year 1926. Training of doctors, public health inspectors, pharmacologists, nurses, family health service officers and other health professionals will be conducted by these institutions. The Minister of Health and Mass Media informs that applications have been called for concern annual transfer given for the year of graded health officials. Accordingly, all the applications have to be forwarded online. Those medical officers who have been qualified to apply for annual transfers due for this year will have to submit their applications before the 13th of this month. Further details can be obtained from www.hrmis.health.gov.lk official website.
Police have taken measures to increase the amount of prices offered to the people who provide information regarding firearms and hand grenades. The aim of this move is to motivate the police officers and private informants in order to further accelerate the operations to seize illegal firearms and hand grenades. Accordingly, for an information to arrest a suspect with a T56 firearm will be paid with a prize money of 1 million rupees. A private informant will be provided with 750,000 rupees for this category. In case of seizing only a T56 weapon, the relevant police officer will be paid with a prize of 750,000 rupees. The amount of private informant is 500,000 rupees. In arresting a suspect with pistol, the relevant police officer will be paid a sum of 400,000 rupees and a private informant will be paid 350,000 rupees for this matter. In case of discovering on a pistol, the police officer will be paid 350,000 rupees and the private informant related to this will be paid 300,000 rupees. In case of arresting a suspect with a revolver, the relevant police officer is entitled to a prize money of 300,000 rupees. If it is a private informant, would get 250,000 rupees. If it is only a discovery of revolver, the police officer will be paid with 200,000 rupees and the private informant is paid 150,000 rupees. In addition, the police have taken measures to increase the prize money in connection with the discovery of local and foreign-made firearms. The Sri Lanka Navy has taken its custody to an Indian fishing vessel along with 14 fishermen which engaged in illegal fishing within the Sri Lankan waters. This has been done in a special operation conducted last night in the south of Mannar Sea. The Navy conducts regular operations in order to curb illegal fishing activities breaching limits of the sea of this country. These Indian fishermen have been arrested accordingly who had entered the sea of South Mannar. They have been handed over to the Fisheries Investigation Office of Mannar for future legal action. The Sri Lanka Navy Special Fleet conducted an exhibition training exercise for the organization members of Indian Ocean Rim Academic Group and United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. This exhibition exercise has been conducted in order to acquire the methodology of reaching those vessels, searching and taking them into their custody. The exercise was conducted at the Kovita Harbour area. PNS Aslet Worship belonging to the Pakistan Navy, which arrived in the island for an official tour, left the island, completing the tour after conducting a joint naval exercise with the Sri Lankan naval vessel Samudra. During their stay, the captain of the Pakistani ship, Mohammad Azhar Akram, and commander of the Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Chandima Silva, held a meeting along with the Director General of Operations, Rear Admiral Buddhika Lienagamake also.
We'll be back with foreign news after this break.
You can make a difference. It is your duty to help eradicate dengue. Clean up your environment at least once a week. A message from the Dengue Control Unit of the Ministry of Health.
Now, Pope Francis sends a message of gratitude and closeness to all those who have been praying for his recovery since he was admitted to the hospital 21 days ago. Vatican reports that Pope Francis has sent a brief audio message expressing gratitude for the outpouring of prayers he has received during his 3-week hospitalization for double pneumonia. Pope Francis' message of thanks recorded in Spanish for the many testimonies of love and closeness that he has received since being admitted to hospital on the 14th of February.
A South Korean court has cancelled impeached President Yoon Suk Yeol's arrest warrant, paving the way for his release from jail after he was detained, imposing the martial law. The suspended president filed a request with the Seoul Central District Court last month, pleading that the arrest warrant issued against him was illegal. A document from the Seoul Central District Court has stated that it is reasonable to conclude the indictment was filed after the defendant's detention period had expired. To ensure procedural clarity and eliminate any doubts regarding the legality of the investigative process, it would be appropriate to issue a decision to cancel the detention, the court added. The Sri Lanka Masters cricket team qualified for the semi-finals of the International Masters League T20 cricket tournament.
They defeated the West Indies by 21 runs in the match played in Vadodara, India yesterday. Winning the toss, the West Indies team elected to field first. Accordingly, Sri Lanka batting first scored 173 runs for 9 wickets in 20 overs. Asila Gunaratne topped scored with 64 runs, which included 7 boundaries and 2 sixes. Captain Kumara Sangakkara scored 47 runs. Involving Ashley Nels captured 3 wickets, while Tino Best got 2 wickets. Chasing a victory target of 174 runs, were able to score only 152 runs in their allotted 20 overs. Opening batsman Dwayne Smith scored 49 runs. For Sri Lanka, Isra Udana captured 2 wickets, while Chaturanga De Silva and Jeevan Mendes shared 1 wicket each. Sri Lanka Masters are now in the second position in the points table of the tournament.
New Zealand women's team won the second one-day cricket match against Sri Lanka women's team by 78 runs. The match was held today at the Saxton Oval grounds held in New Zealand. New Zealand won the toss and decided to bat first. Accordingly, they scored 245 runs for 7 wickets in their 50 overs. Maddie Green recorded her second ODI century today. Chamari Adapattu claimed 2 wickets. In reply, Sri Lanka were all out for 167 runs in 46.4 overs. Harshita Samaravikraman recorded her third ODI half-century with 59 runs. The third and final match of the series will be played on Sunday.
And that's all the news we have for you tonight. Join us tomorrow at the same time for the very latest on Channel Eye. I'm Delanjali, together with Sana, signing off. Good night.
Good night.